Once upon a time, there was a king named Shahryar, a just and fair ruler who loved his people and watched over their well-being, earning him the title Guardian of Justice. However, his wife was the complete opposite. She was wicked and of vile character, embodying treachery and deceit, and her name was Bahramah. Bahramah betrayed King Shahryar, leading him to kill her and harbor a deep hatred for all women, believing them to be like his treacherous wife. He vowed to take revenge on all women, ordering his minister to choose the most beautiful girl in the city each day to marry for one night only, after which she would be executed. This law became a decree in the kingdom, and the king was soon known as the Ghoul of Women, instead of the Guardian of Justice. The minister was troubled by the king's actions and devised a plan to save him from his madness. The minister had two daughters, Scheherazade and Dinazade. Scheherazade possessed all the admirable qualities of literature, knowledge, beauty, and kindness, and she loved reading, having a vast knowledge of history, literature, and stories. One day, she noticed her father was sad and alone, so she asked him about his sorrow. He told her the story of King Shahryar, and she requested to meet him to convince him to return to his rational mind and sound judgment. Her father initially refused, but she persuaded him with arguments and reasoning until he finally agreed to let her meet the king. The minister approached the king and informed him of his daughter's desire to marry him. The king was astonished by the minister's words, despite knowing the fate that awaited his daughter after the marriage. A long conversation ensued, during which the minister convinced the king to marry his daughter. The minister returned home and shared the news of the king's agreement with Scheherazade, who was overjoyed. The next morning, she went to the king's palace. When the king saw Scheherazade, he was captivated by her stunning beauty. As night fell, Scheherazade began to tell enchanting stories to the king, and her tales never ended. They only grew more thrilling and enjoyable. When dawn arrived, the king ordered that Scheherazade's execution be postponed until she finished her story. Thus, Scheherazade intentionally paused her narrative to weave in suspenseful moments, compelling the king to spare her life for another night until the story concluded. She continued to tell him stories for 1,000 nights, during which she bore him 2 sons. Scheherazade captured the king's heart and mind, and he could no longer bear to live without her.